Thank you very much. Busy time.
Absolutely.
We're making a lot of progress with the whole situation that came in from a place called China. You probably know, you probably see. But we have a little work to do, and we'll get it done. We're having some very good numbers coming out in terms of the comeback of our nation, and I think it's going very rapidly, and it's going to be very good. But right now we're in that process of building, and it's an honor that you're with us today. We very much appreciate it. I'm delighted to welcome members of the Workforce Policy Advisory Board, and I want to thank Ivanka. She works very hard on this board. She works very hard to get jobs, and it's made in the USA and jobs in the USA. I saw a group of your people yesterday having to do with ships. Mm-hmm. You're involved in that partnership, and it's fantastic what they're doing in Wisconsin. It was really a great day. The Secretary of Treasury is with us, and he's worked very hard, and I think he's got some very good things to say and some pretty big news. And Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, Secretary of Labor Jean Scalia, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, and Small Business Administrator who's definitely kept busy, Jovita. Where's Jovita? Jovita, good. Jovita Carranza. Thanks also to Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, who's done terrifically. Kim, hi Kim, nice to see you. Thank you very much. And Eric Holcomb, Governor of Indiana. And we always recognize Eric because he's, how tall are you, Eric? He's a pretty tall guy, right? But we have one that's a little taller. You know where that is? Alaska. You know that, right? You're doing a great job. We appreciate it. As well as the CEOs who have signed our pledge to American workers, Marilyn Houston, thank you very much, of Lockheed Martin, Sebastian Thurn of Udacity, and Ginny Rometty of IBM. I want to thank you all. You've been really here from the beginning, very much from the beginning, and we appreciate it very much. Together we built the greatest economy in history, and literally in the history of the world, greatest we've ever had, the greatest the world has ever seen. And now we have to bring it back because we had to close in order to save millions of lives. We added 2.5 million jobs last month, which was incredible, a number, the largest monthly increase in history, and more than double the previous record. So we're bringing it back. We had the greatest ever, and we had to close it, and now we bring it back, and we start off with 2.5 million jobs in 1 month. I would say that's pretty good, Marilyn, right? That's the highest ever done. And then likewise, retail sales surged by nearly 18% last month. That was the biggest jump ever recorded. So that's great. The stock market has seen, you go back a week, 1 week, it saw the best 50 days in its history, best 50-day increase in the history of the stock markets. Our pledge to America's workers has secured commitments to over 16 million job and training opportunities from employers nationwide, and some of the employers are with us, and they've been fantastic. I want to thank the American people for doing such an incredible job. They understand what's happening, and they see how fast we're turning it around. I want to just state that this is Americans of all backgrounds that we're talking about. To have the chance, we want to get them the chance to learn and to build a successful career. We want to train Americans, and we want to hire Americans. So we're training American and we're hiring American. Before the pledge, and this is a very big factor, I mean, we have a problem that has about 22 different names, but I'll just call it the plague. But before the plague struck, we had the lowest African American and Hispanic American, Asian American unemployment ever. We had the most jobs we've ever had, almost 160 million jobs. We've never been in a position like that. Women were thriving, best numbers ever. And since my election, more than half of those jobs, more than half, first time that's ever happened, went to women. But now we want to get that all back. The African American group got hit very hard. The Hispanic American group got hit very hard. essentially all groups got hit hard, but now it's all coming back. To further expand opportunity, I'm taking a bold action to reform the federal workforce. Today, I'll sign an executive order that directs the federal government to replace outdated and really outdated, it's called degree-based hiring, with skill-based hiring. So we want it based on skill. The federal government will no longer be narrowly focused on where you went to school, but the skills and the talents that you bring to the job. We want that skill to be there. We want it based on merit. We've looked at merit for a long time, and we've been able to get that done. And today's signing is a very, very important one. I think maybe before I sign, I'll ask Ivanka to say a few words, and then we'll go around a little bit. We'll pick a few people, and then we'll sign, and we go back to work. Thank you very much. Ivanka.
Thank you, Mr. President, and it's an honor to have you here. We just convened our 6th meeting of our Workforce Advisory Board, and we got an update on the team's response to your bold call to action. First, we're going to be launching, and Ginny Rometty, in partnership with Tim Cook, spearheaded this group, a massive advertising campaign that directs those that need to reskill, learn a new trade, to secure a job, to the resources to enable them to do that. So we're very excited about the launch of this private sector-led and driven campaign to match Americans with the training they need and ultimately the job vacancies that exist. The advisory board is also creating a series of pilot programs, and Scott Pulsifer and Doug McMillan have been running these groups where we really think about how we create the resumes of the future and allow people to find job vacancies based on skill, and for employers to connect with those unemployed workers, again, based on skill. So creating a lot more efficiency to that process. You are once again leading by example here today with this EO signing. As the nation's largest employer, we are always seeking to recruit and retain the best and the brightest to serve the American people. Last December, you fought for and secured paid leave for every federal worker. This was a first, creating a workplace that reflects our American values of both work and family, and helping us retain our amazing talent. It's also why you fought so hard this spring when COVID struck to secure paid sick leave for Americans employed by small businesses and additional funding for child care providers, helping millions and millions of Americans remain employed and providing relief to small businesses across the country. This is going to ensure a faster and stronger recovery. Today, we're taking that next step, as you mentioned, and signing an executive order that directs federal agencies to hire based on skills and knowledge, not just outdated degree requirements. This will allow us to better recognize the talents and competencies of all Americans we hire. You built once the most inclusive economy in this country's history, and you'll build it again. Through our pledge to America's workers, the private sector has committed to investing in the training and education of over 16 million American students and workers, and this continues despite the vast change that the plague ushered in. Companies like Udacity, Sebastian Thrun joins us today, have been leading the way, and they've been using their pledge commitment and fulfilling it by providing free tech training to American workers laid off as a result of COVID. I recently had the opportunity to virtually meet one of the students that went through your program and received your scholarship in conjunction with the pledge, and it was incredible. His name was Tony. He was a lifelong truck driver. He owned his own business. It was a single rig that he had. Through a series of setbacks, the company ended up going under. He signed up for a course in tech and is now a software engineer, providing for his family, absolutely loving what he does. And there are many, many stories like Tony that hopefully will inspire millions across the nation. Marilyn Hewson, also an early pledge signer of Lockheed Martin, committed to hiring during the pandemic, using virtual technology and other techniques to ensure recruitment processes move forward. So with more people teleworking and learning from home than ever before, we have a lot to accomplish in the months ahead, and I'm really excited about your effort to extend this working group and to reform our federal hiring practices as we think about building that inclusive American economy as we transition to greatness. So thank you for today, and it's a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you very much, honey. Great job. Congratulations to everybody in the room. This means a lot. Okay, we'll do that for Maryland. We'll take this. Thank you very much.